Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is going to be a video number 39. So we've covered all the 10 forms of the verb and what's added to each form. And right now we're going to be going back and focusing specifically on form 2 and all the verbs that are appearing in the Quran in that form. So our goal is to, inshallah, go through that. There's quite a few of these verbs. Not a lot, but it's enough. So what I'm going to do is I went ahead and already put our chart up and all the verbs that apply in this form. I'm going to go ahead and just write it across, give the meaning, and then I'll just quickly just go ahead and write it. Again, this is Maldi, Mudari. This would be like the master, and then this is the fa'il, and then this is the ism tafdil. So in this, we're not really focusing on the majhul version and madi majhul, mudari majhul, and ism maf'ul and all of that. So we're basically focusing on these forms that are most important: madi, mudari, excuse me, the masdar, and then the ism fa'il, and then the actual verb itself, and then what form does it fall under. Okay, so the first one that we're going to be talking about is the verb baddala. Baddala. So we have baddala, yubaddilu, sorry, this is wrong. Bud. Sorry, apologize. Dilu. There we go. I'll finally figure it out. Baddala yubaddilu, baddil. And then it becomes mubaddilun. Basically, we're following the same sound and pattern. Mubaddil, actually, because there's a sukun on it. Mubaddil. And then on the ism taf'il, it becomes tabdil, right? So it changes and it takes the ta. Tabdil. Tabdil. Okay. All right. And so what does this mean? This means to change. The verb means to change. So, and it's on form 2. So our focus is form 2, and that's the meaning of the verb, baddala, to change. All right. So the next one was going to be bashara. Bashara, yubashiru, 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 bashir, bashir, mubashir, mubashir, and then it becomes tabshir. Tabshir. Okay. Now, bashar means to give good news, glad tidings. That's the meaning for that. The next one we have is bayyana. Bayyana means to make clear. Bayyana. Bayyana, yubayyinu, 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 bayyin, bayyin, mubayyin, mubayyin, mubayyin. And then it becomes tabyin, tabyin. The ya's open up here. Tabyin. Okay. And then we have zayyana. So I know it's a repetition. It's the same pattern, same sound. Everything is the same. But because these are the verbs that are coming in the Quran, the most common repeated verbs. So that's the purpose that I'm writing this. So we can, inshallah, understand everything and figure this out real quickly. And then the next one we have is zayyana. It means to beautify, to adorn. Zayyana, yuzayyinu, 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 zayyin, zayyin, muzayyin, muzayyin, and then it becomes tazyin. Tazyin. All right, the next one we have is sabbaha, to glorify, to praise. Sabbaha, 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 yusabbihu, 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 sabbih, sabbih, musabbih, musabbih, and then becomes tasbih. Okay. Of course, that's all we have space on this board, inshallah. So I'm going to erase everything and then come back with the rest of them. But let's go ahead and over it. The more you say these, the easier, trust me, the easier it becomes, because it gets stuck in your head, like when you're singing a song, and then the more you repeat it, the better it is. You remember everything. So if you kind of repeat this on the same pattern, it becomes a lot easier. So let's just repeat everything together here. بدل يبدل بدل مبدل تبديل بشر يبشر بشر مبشر تبشير. This form تفعيل, they all follow the same sound pattern, except there's always exception in the Arabic grammar. Let's keep that in mind. There's always exception. Not everything is 100% all the time 100%. So there's, just keep that in mind, that in anytime something changes, verbs, grammar, whatever, there's exceptions. So just kind of keep that in mind, inshallah. So then the next verb is bayyana, yubayyinu, bayyin. Sorry, I don't know why I put two dots here. Bayyin, mubayyin, and then tabyin. Now notice how the two yas are breaking apart, because here there's two yas, bayyana, right? Because two yas, there's a shadda on it. So when we come to taf'il and this pattern, those two yas becomes open. They're written next to each other, so you get to read it and you get to see it as well. So that's why we have this tabyin. Okay. And then we have zayyana, yuzayyinu, zayyin, muzayyin, and then tazyin. Again, because there's two yas in the middle. It opens up. And the next word is sabbaha, yusabbihu, sabbih, musabbih, and then tasbih. All right, inshallah, let's clean the board and we'll be back. All right, so next verb is sakhara. Sakhara means to bring under control. Sakhara. Sakhara, yusakhiru, yusakhiru. And then it's sakhir. Musakhir. And then becomes taskhir. Taskhir. Okay, taskhir. All right, next verb is saddaqa. Saddaqa meaning to become true, to pronounce to be true. Saddaqa, yusaddiqu. Another thing I just want to point out real quick, sometimes people make mistake. When you have the shadda, sometimes, see how I wrote the kasra in the bottom? Sometimes the kasra is written on the top, but it's still under the shadda. So what am I, but it's still, you read it the same way. So sometimes it's written, let's, for example, you said, let's put here. So we have the shadda, but we want to say yusaddiqu. That's one way of writing it, and then you also can write it yusad. The kasra goes under the shadda, but some people make a mistake. They think that that's a fatha, so it becomes yusaddaqu, but that's incorrect. Because anytime that you have the shadda, and if you write on top of it, that's the fatha, so it means you read it as the fatha sound. But if the kasra is written underneath it, so that means you read it as a kasra, like in this case. So if you come across this and this is the same thing. So yusaddiqu, because the kasra is under the shadda, so that means you have to read it as a tiqu. Okay, I just want to point that out because sometimes people do make mistake on that one. Okay, so we have saddaqa, yusaddiqu, saddiq. See here, saddiq. And I could wrote this kasra here and it would still be the same thing. But the reason I'm writing here underneath, just for the purpose of be able to see quickly, inshallah, in the class as you guys are reading it. If I write it underneath, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to notice that. So saddaqa, yusaddiqu, saddiq, musaddiq, musaddiq, and then becomes tasdiq. Tasdiq. Okay. Next one we have is says adaba is to punish, to torment. Adaba, yu'adhibu, yu'adhibu, adaba, yu'adhibu, adhib, adhib, mu'adhib, mu'adhib, and then it's تعذيب. تعذيب. Next word is علم, is to teach. علم يعلم. يعلم. علم. معلم. And then it becomes تعليم. تعليم. Okay. Next word we have is قدم, to send forward. قدم يقدم. يقدم. قدم. مقدم. مقدم. And then تقديم. تقديم. All right. We're running out of space, but go ahead. Let's just go ahead and read it again. سخر يسخر سخر. مسخر and then تسخير. صدق يصدق صدق. مصدق تصديق. عذب يعذب عذب. معذب تعذيب. علم يعلم علم. معلم تعليم. قدم يقدم قدم. مقدم تقديم. They all fall on the same pattern. It sounds the same. So the louder you say it, the easier it is, because it just gets recorded. It just gets absorbed in the brain, inshallah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 more left, inshallah, and then we will be done with this form. We'll be right back. All right. So the next verb is كذب. كذب, it means to accuse someone of falsehood, for some to say that someone's lying. كذب. كذب يكذب. كذب. مكذب. And then تكذيب. تكذيب. Next verb is نبأ. نبأ, yes. Excuse me. To declare, to appraise. نبأ. ينبئ. ينبئ. نبئ. نبئ. منبئ. And then this one is a little bit different. The اسم التفضيل becomes تنبئة. 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 To declare, to appraise, assess, to value. Okay, next verb is nazzala. Yunazzilu. Nazzil. Munazzil. Munazzil, and then tanzil. Tanzil. To send down. Tanzil, to send down. And we have the last two. We have, these are those weird verbs that either starts with a wow or finishes with a yeah or something like that. So these are the verbs I was kind of mentioning earlier. All right, so this one is najji, to deliver, to rescue, to save. Najji, yunajji. Yunajji. Yeah, yunajji. Najji. Najji. Because see, the ya is gone because it gets dropped. Munajji. Munajji. And then tanjia. Tanji. Tanjia. Tanjia. Okay, and the last one we have is walla. Walla. Yuwalli. You. Yuwalli. And then it's wal. 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 And then muwalli. Muwalli. And then tawliya. Tawliya is to turn. Walli means to turn. Okay, let's go ahead and read this quickly, inshallah. We have kadhaba means to accuse of falsehood. Kadhaba yukadhibu, kadhib, mukadhib, takzib. Nabba'a, to warn. Let me get back to my page here. To declare, to warn. Nabba'a yunabbi'u, yunabbi'u, nabbi', munabbi, tanbi'a. Usually when we stop on the ta marbuta on most of these, we don't really pronounce it. We just tanbih, tanbi'a, tanbi'a. We don't say that. We don't pronounce the ta marbuta. Tanji, tanjia, tawliya. That's how it goes. All right. We did this one. Nazzala, yunazzilu, nazzala, yunazzilu, nazzil, munazzil, tanzil. Najji, yunajji, najji, munajji, tanjiya. Walla, yuwalli, walli, muwalli, tawliya. All right, inshallah, I think we've covered all the verbs that appear in form 2, all these verbs that are in the Quran, inshallah. So let's try to practice these. And if you don't want to write them down, you can play the video again and again and just kind of follow along. Or if you have it written down, then you can just review your notes, inshallah, because it helps you tremendously if you just keep saying it, and then the pattern just remains, gets absorbed in the brain, and then it stays in your head, inshallah. So when you come across these verbs in the Quran, next time you're reading the Quran, let's say in the basic form, you can say nazala. It is noon, zay, and lam. So it's nazala, and then you can automatically should be able to say, oh, okay, I know the form 2 of this, because nazala is form 1, is the basic form, and then you should be able to say, okay, so now it's nazala. So there's the middle letter is doubled, so that's your form 2. Or you want to change it to form like 3, then you should be able to add an alif, like na nazala, so, and then you go on down the list. You should be able to play with the verb, with the verbs and all the forms that we've covered so far, inshallah. All right, I think this is it until we go to next form 3. And form 3, we don't have a whole lot, but the ones we do have are, of course, everything's important, but we have the verbs that are important here that we need to, of course, go over those as well. And then the most common one that we're going to be, inshallah, probably tackle that in maybe 2 3 different sessions, is going to be the form 4, which a lot of that comes in the Quran in that form. Okay, until next time, assalamu alaikum.